Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. In this video, I will take 10 rocks that I picked off a public beach. Anybody out there can find these. And we're going to cut them in half and we're going to take a look at what they look like on the inside. And then I'll take these 10 rocks and in the next episode, I'll have made cabochons out of each one of them so I can show you that I actually make something with these rocks instead of just cutting them in half and then putting them outside. So I got 10 rocks here. I picked up on a public beach. I'm gonna turn the camera around here. We're gonna take a look at them and then we'll take them downstairs and cut them in half on my lapidary saw. So let's take a look at these rocks. So here are the 10 rocks we're gonna cut in half for this episode here. And I got some small ones in here. I pick them all up, not just the big ones. If I see a small one that looks cool, I'll pick that one up too. So let's take a look at these here in no particular order. So this run here looks like a unikite, but it's only unikite on this end here. The rest of it looks like epidote. So that's what that one looks like. Let's get it wet. You can see why I picked it up. I thought that was a good looking design there. Pretty busy. It's kind of cool that it's only looks like it's only epidote on this end here, though. All right, I picked up this little one here because I thought it was an agate. It could be an agate. I'm not positive yet. But it's got these cute little spots in there and this kind of bluish green looking quartzy stuff in the center here. And you can see why I picked it up. Look at that. Now hopefully that goes all the way through. Now the only problem is this is a really small rock, so what I'm going to end up doing is if I have a problem with this, I got another rock I'm going to throw in here so I have the 10 rocks. But hopefully I can cut this and make a cool looking cab out of it. Another chunk of unikite here. I like my unikite. This one had some pretty good patterns going through it there though. Look at this. Even got some quartz pockets in there. We got a piece of quartz here. Looks like it's got some mica, or not mica, feldspar maybe. I think I saw some flashes in there. Yeah, right there. Kind of a light color, lots of quartz. I think that'll look kind of cool on the inside. Another little quartz here. And this has got feldspar, the orange stuff. I thought that looked kind of neat. Hopefully it's not all fractured up. I see a couple fractures here, but that would, and there ain't no telling what's on the inside of these things. That pretty much is probably going to be what we're seeing on the outside here. And I got this one, little one here. It's like epidote, quartz, something else. So hopefully I can split this and make a nice little freeform cab out of this one. This one here. I don't know if this is gneiss or granite. A lot of times with the gneiss, I really don't know until I cut them open. Look at that. It's got this nice quartz vein running through there, kind of round with a bunch of green whatever in there. I think this is going to be really cool. It looks like some of this stuff is just floating in the quartz too. So that should be an interesting cut. Got another granite here. Got some really chunky crystals in it. I mean, it's almost like porphyry, but I'm not positive. But I love the pattern when I picked it up. That's just awesome, I think, with a lot of black in there. I don't know what this is yet. Apparently it looks like it's got some jasper running through the center there. Like this one just got chunked off a big rock you know, getting smashed up on the beach. It looks like it could be a amygdaloidal, because it looks like there's basalt right here. We're going to cut it open and see what it looks like on the inside, because right now, looking on the outside, it's looking pretty cool to me. You got another big old piece of granite here. See what it looks like dry. Now you can see why I picked it up. Got a lot of interesting texture and pattern in there. Right, I'm going to gather up these rocks here. We're going to take them downstairs on my saw, and we're going to cut them in half and see what's on the inside. So we'll see you downstairs. All right, we're down here on my high-tech 10-inch lapidary saw. I'm going to show you. This is a continuous rim diamond sintered blade here, and the diamonds are, you know, embedded in the metal, but this blade is absolutely not sharp. I'm rubbing my thumb on it right now, and it don't even cut the glove. So don't worry about me cutting my fingers on this saw. Not going to happen. So the other thing I do is I touch it up, you know, sharpen it or expose more diamonds. And I use a coarse grinding disc that I bought, and I just kind of touch it 3 times. So I'll show you in the demo here. So we'll start cutting. Okay, first up, I got this chunky one here. I'm just going to cut the end off. Okay, let's see what the first rock looks like. Ooh. Liking that one. Okay. Got this little one here. Let's split it right down the center. So I'm betting this one here looks just like it does on the outside. Oh. Busy, very busy. Alright, got this one here. See, I don't know what the deal is. Now my rock's overexposed, and I've never had that problem before. It's like the last 3 videos, but hey, probably time for a new camera here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split him right down the middle here. See what we got here. Ooh, a little red in there too. It's like it's just stuff floating in quartz. Awesome. Alright, this one here. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut kind of right here. Then I can slab on either side of that. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. Okay. I think it's got a little more in there than what I thought. So we'll look at these closer upstairs. Alright, I got this one here. Not quite sure I want to do this. Let's see. I'm gonna slab this side off here. So we're gonna cut it like this. See if we made a good decision here. Ooh. Liking that. That's interesting. Okay. Alright, got this piece of unikite. I think I'm going to cut it right on the edge of this orange stuff here. Well, let's think about this for a second. Maybe I'm just going to shave this side off here. I'll get the orange and then a bunch of green right here. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow. We did good. Looks interesting. All right, got this other unakite here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut this side off, and we'll cab on this side here. Quit bumping the camera. All right, let's see what it looks like on the inside. Wow. It's got some going on in there. Cool. All right, got this little bitty guy here. I'm just going to slit him right down the center. Okay, let's see what we've got. Do something with that. All right, got this big old chunk of quartz here. And I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slice this whole side off here. All right, let's see what we got. Actually, it kind of looks like marble in there. Okay. Now I got this one here, and I want to keep this side because this side looks a little fractured up. So I'll try to cut it like that. Okay, the hope is that all this speckly stuff is on the inside. Look at that. That's all copper. The little, we'll look at this closer upstairs. This is awesome. Except for the big fracture right in the center. But we'll figure something out. Oh, cool. Alright, so I'm going to take these upstairs and we'll lay them out and take a closer look at them. So I'll meet you up there. So we got back up from the saw. Got some really neat looking rocks here. I mean, there's a couple of them here I really like. There's some, we'll find out, but they kind of surprise you when you make cabochons out of them. So I'm going to spread them out here, and then we'll talk about them a little bit. All right, here are the rocks that we just cut downstairs on the saw. Let's start with this one here. Get some of the crumbs off of it. So I would call this one a granite. Got lots of quartz going on in there. And the inside, got a nice smooth cut. I thought it's going to be some interesting cabochon. And I got a good sized chunk right here. So that's what it looked like on the outside. I've got a big fracture here. So when I'm picking these things up on the beach, you know, I'm thinking cabochon when I look at them. I used to tumble rocks a lot, but now it's all nothing but cabochon. So I'm looking for pattern and color, like I always say. I think this will be a neat one here. All right, this one here, wasn't really sure if this is a granitic gneiss or whatever. It's got granite and quartz. I don't know. It's got, look at that. Look at the floaters in there. That whatever this mineral here is. I'm looking around the camera right now because it's, man, I think that's going to look so cool right there. And here's the other half. So my geology is probably a little off here. Like I said, I'm not a geologist. I try to identify these the best I can. And I don't know, there's a lot of quartz. I don't know what the other stuff is, though. Kind of greenish looking almost. I think I'll incorporate all this into a cabochon and we'll see what we come out with. I do know what this one is. Piece of unakite here. It was like unakite on the tip on this end only, and then the rest of it's epidote with some quartz in there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So I like it now because I can incorporate some, all this into a cabochon, and I think it's a little more eye-catching that way. although this whole rock, any place I'd make a cabochon out of it, I think it would be an awesome look. But that orange in there, I think is going to help it a lot. So nice green one. And we got the feldspar on top there. A couple green streaks of epidote running through it. Yeah, look at that. All right, got this other piece of granite here. I was on a kick there where I was picking up anything that had a lot of black in it. I believe the black is mica and then quartz. Look at that. And then it's got some lighter colored stuff going on in there. I didn't notice on the outside. But I think that'll make what I'll do is I'll slab off a chunk on one side or the other, and then I'll make the cab out of it. But this one's, you could say this one's kind of chunky with a nice black background here. I think that's pretty. I cut this little one here. Now, I pick up little ones too, if they're interesting enough, and if I think I can do something with them. And obviously, I can make two cabs pretty easily out of this. The inside's nice and solid. It's kind of a graduated color scheme in here, but I don't know. I think it's going to look pretty neat, especially with the white on the edges here. So that's that one. Yeah, the outside kind of interested me with the subtle color shift on it like that. Another unikite. This one had some nice veins running through there. That is not a crack. Quartz, kind of chunky-ish. The inside, I think, is very interesting. Look at the epidote streaks and feathers and stuff running through there. So I think I got enough here, or I can still cut a chunk out of this if I want to make a larger cab. Isn't that pretty? Now these kind of surprise you. If you saw that laying on the ground, you'd think, I don't know if I can do anything with that or not. Look at that. Look at the inside of that. Look at the colors in there. That is going to make a really interesting cabochon. I'm hoping the basalt on the bottom here will shine, but it's even got a chunk of quartz running through there, right there. Look at that. It's just laying on the beach. I don't think most folks would not give this thing two thoughts. I think it's going to be gorgeous. All right, got another little one here. I had a throwdown rock just in case this didn't go well. But man, look at that. The green, bluish green in there. How could you walk past something like that? That too. Now it's kind of small, but I'm going to get one cab out of it. And look at the copper. See the reflection of the copper in there? This thing's just loaded with copper, pure copper. And then the greenish, bluish with the spots in there. I know it's got a big fracture running down the middle of it, but hopefully, it'll be just on this side. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and cab it anyways. That is so cool looking. I'm kind of leaning towards a prehnite, however you say it. A mignoloidal, because this is basalt here. But yeah, I didn't notice there was going to be copper in there, but you can see the copper pretty good there. I'm kind of excited. This one here is probably my favorite going into this right now. I got this little chunk of quartz with feldspar in it. I figured it'd probably look about the same. I think once it gets polished up, I think you're going to be impressed here. It's got some spots of mica in there. Let's see. Hopefully they got a little pittish, but Hopefully there's not a lot of them in there. I don't see any on this side. There's some pits there, but by the time I grind this into a cab, there won't be any pits. So I can get 2 nice cabs out of this piece here. Yeah, I think once she's polished up, it's going to look nice. And finally, got this piece of quartz here. So on the outside, like that, you're like, eh. But on the inside, this stuff was all floating in the clear quartz. And it's got a little red, couple little red spots in there. So that should be an interesting cab, especially with the way it kind of floats in there. So, yeah. So here are the 10 rocks. I think make sure I got 10. Yep. These are the 10 rocks, and then I'll make cabochons out of them. So next week in episode 31, you'll be able to see these made into cabochons. So kind of excited, especially in this one here. And this one. These 2 right here are probably my favorite ones. So if you have a favorite one, let me know down in the comments below. And we'll and you know, I'll throw it out there. If you want a particular shape on one of these, I'll take your recommendation on them. Won't guarantee I'll make that shape, but if you think a shape would look, a certain shape I do make would look good on any one of these, let me know in the comments. So I'm going to clear these out, wipe this off, and then we're going to look at the cabochons from episode 29 that I made out of those rocks. So here we go. All right, I cleared them wet rocks out of the way from episode 30, and now we're going to look at episode 29. So first up, I had this little piece of unakite here. This nice green epidote stripe running through there. There's the back. We'll put a little water on there so you can kind of see what it may look like as a cabochon. Okay. So here is the cabochon I made out of it. Look at that. Nice shine. Got the epidote stripe in there. I did this as a natural shape. So there's the back. There's the front. So we've got a nice mixture of mica, feldspar, epidote. I'm not seeing much quartz in this one. So there's the original rock, and there's the cabochon I made out of it. Okay, the second rock I cut was this piece of migdaloidal rhyolite. It had these green spots in there. It's quartz and something else because it made a nice smooth cut. When this thing is wet, it is just gorgeous. Look at that. So I made another natural shape out of this one, this cabochon here. I got a good representation of the green inclusions in there, and a lot of them. And the shine is pretty good for amygdaloidal. There's the back. There's the front. So yeah, I think we came out pretty good there. There's the cab, and there is the rock it came from. Now this piece, I'm pretty sure it's variolite, but see it's got kind of a sheen on it. I've never picked this stuff up where it had a sheen like that. And then the light green spots, you can hardly see them. Now you can barely see them over here, but you get this thing wet and they just pop. Look at that. So my hope was when I made a cabochon out of this, we'd be able to see the green spots just like you're looking at them right now. Well, here's cabochon. Look at that. Not a problem. They came right in. Got a pretty good shine on it. Like the pattern. Even the dark, like that, came in. Here's the back. And there's the front. So, and there's the original rock. And there's the cabochon I made out of it. All right, this one here, still do not know what this is. And where I found it, you find all kinds of different, you know, everybody thinks of a superior agate, you know, it's got the white lines and the brown or the reddish stuff in there, but there's all kinds of different kinds of agates up there. So I don't know. I just look at this thing. You know, I thought amygdaloidal, no. Quartz, no. You know, it's got fortifications, you know, right here, you know, like agate lines around all this stuff, and I don't know. If anybody out there has an idea, you can let me know in the comments down below. It made an absolutely beautiful cabochon. Look at that. Look at the fortifications in there. So I don't know, man. I think this is some kind of agate here, but I'm just absolutely not sure what kind of agate it is. There's the back. There's the front. Good shine, fortifications. I did it in a natural shape. So there is the original rock, and there's the cab I made out of it. This is my favorite one in this series here. All right, had a nice little piece of granite here. Had some red stripes on the outside, and I thought, well, will they be on the inside? Oh yeah, you got red on the inside. So this is the kind of the look I was after, and this is the look I got. Look at that. Really nice shine. Got some of the red in there, a little character, a little contrast. Made a nice little oval shape out of it. Here's the back. Here's the front. There's the original rock, and there is the cabochon I made out of it. It's another piece of quartz that had this big red orangish line running through the middle of it, and it had a lot of pits in there, so I was kind of concerned. And you turn it over, and you can see whatever the material is pitting is right there. I just could not get over how neat this thing looked when it was wet. So I think I did pretty good. Here's the cabochon. Even got one of those orange lines kind of running off to the side there. Got a little down here. And it was fairly smooth with no pitting. You can kind of see some undercutting, whatever that mineral is, that light colored stuff. But man, you're not going to notice that, you know, unless you're standing there with a magnifying glass looking at it. Yeah, it made a really pretty cabochon, I thought, with that orange line running through the middle of it. So there's the back. There's the front. There is the original rock, and there is the cabochon I made out of it. And this one here, I was saying it was granite, but when I cut it in half, it's nice. It's granitic nice. This is a nice material here. Had some quartz and granite looking stuff. And I was kind of hoping that this quartz and this quartz were connected in the center, but that was not the case. But I like the colors in here. Actually, kind of spring, early summer-like colors, I would say. So here's the cabochon I made out of it. I incorporated some of the quartz in the top here and then some of the yellow stuff. The shine is awesome on it. Here's the back. Here's the front. Yeah. So I got everything this rock had to offer in this cabochon here. So there's the original rock, and there's the cab I made out of it. All right, this was the pink and tan or yellowish rock, and I'd hoped that this pink went down into the center here, and it had a lot of pits in it. But no, the pink did not go all the way through the rock. It was just on the outside and on the edges here. Had a decent looking pattern inside there. Not really sure. You know, I don't think it's a granite. I was kind of leaning towards a chert, but I don't think it's a chert either, because a chert usually you get conchoidal fractures like on an arrowhead, fractures like that, like little dishes or clams popped out of it. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to lean more back towards a quartz. So anyway, here's the cab I made out of it. You can see just a little bit of the pink in there. Maybe, yeah, on this end it's pretty good. Got a couple pits showed up in it. Shine's pretty decent. A lot of little pits though. So I gotta think about if I should post this one on Etsy or not. If you think it's worthy of an Etsy post, let me know in the comments down below. So here's the back. Here's the front. So yeah, I mean, I managed to keep a little bit of it, but the pits kind of bother me. So there's the cabochon, and there is the original rock. And I like this one here. Nice and solid. The color contrast was awesome. Look at that. Just wait, let me get it wet here if you want to really see it pop. Ain't that cool? All different kinds of colors of green. You got the brown from the rhyolite. So here is the cabochon I made. A decent shine on it. Got a little bit of the rhyolite in there. Got all the green, the white. Pretty much everything in that rock is in this cabochon. There's the back. There's the front. That is a busy. This is my second favorite one right here. So there is the cab, and there is the original rock that it came out of. And it had this piece of epidote here. It had some host rock in there, running through there. You know, I guess it'd be bordering on this is a blah rock, you know. There's no, you know, cool patterns. I mean, there's some patterns in here, but nothing like the last cab I just showed you. It's kind of, I don't know, moderate, or I won't say blah, just kind of like toast, you know, just, yeah, until you put jelly on it. That's what this is. So here's the cab. Shines okay. Mostly green. Got a few of the other minerals or whatever is mixed in there with it. Here's the back. Here's the front. So, I don't know. Not bad. I've done better, I guess, but not bad. So there's the cab. And there is the original rock. So all these, I think, yeah, I'm going to put all these, except this one. Let me see what the comments I get on this one right here for as far as putting it on Etsy with the holes in it, pits. So we'll put these on Etsy. I've been pretty good. I'll probably get them on there by the weekend for sure. With Christmas and all, it might be a day or two longer. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what your favorite was in the comments below. You know what my favorite one actually was, this one here. And what did I say, this one here? These two. But yeah, let me know. And then I'll get them on Etsy, and yeah, so there you go. All the rocks and the cabs from episode 29. So you got to see me cut some really neat rocks from I picked up on the shores of Lake Superior. So we'll get those made into cabs, and you'll see them on the next episode, which I think is episode 31 already. And then you got to see the cabochons I made from the episode 29 rocks, and there's some really nice ones in there. And like I said, those will be on Etsy. Probably going to try to get them on by this weekend. So if you're interested in any of them, take a look. You can own them or just look at them. So I'd like to thank the subscribers out there. I really appreciate you subscribing and liking this content enough to subscribe. The viewers, all the viewers out there, if you haven't considered subscribing, consider it. It's free, and just push the button down below, and then you slide over, give me a thumbs up, share it, hyperlink it, and push the bell button, and that'll get you notifications. I got more videos coming out. So I think that's all I got. Let me think. No, I don't have any notes here. Oh, I'm going to put a video up here. Probably usually put number 5 up here. I picked that one out, and that's where I show the cabochons, the first time cabochons I started making for episode 4. And then YouTube will put a video over here. Hopefully it's one of mine. And then I make another series where I make cabochons. If you want to see the process of me making a cabochon, because I don't show you making these cabochons, I just make them and then bring them on this video. But I actually comes out every Saturday morning, where I actually go through and I make a cabochon from the cut all the way to the polish. So if you want to see how that process goes, tune into that. So yeah, that's all I got, and I'll catch you later.